line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Skies shine bright, days come alight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PTN Racing TV and the Champion Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series final playoff race before the battle at Phoenix in just a few short weeks. Here on the PTN Racing TV side, we are live here in Homestead, Miami tonight. Homestead, Florida right now, showcasing Homestead Miami Speedway's lustrous and beauty around, with a huge contender of drivers ready to go at it and bring everything all on the line for just one chance, one opportunity to make it into the Final Four. Hi again, everyone. I am the Crusader Christian Stride, joining you guys here today as we are getting ready to wrap up this absolutely thrilling season full of highs and lows for the drivers and absolute carnage and chaos left in its way. The Championship Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series playoffs have risen and rose to whole new levels and whole new heights as we are getting ready for this final conclusion before that championship race comes indeed. As we're getting ready to get down to it, though, of course, there is one thing of note, one thing to look onto today. As we have said before, we have two drivers already locked into this championship round. As right now, we have got lined up in position Jason Taylor in the 15 and Craig Janzik in the number 02. Barring he joins us tonight here, he will be just having a little bit more fun as Jason Taylor has already locked himself in. So this should be an interesting battle of supremacy and choices for these drivers to make. But with that in mind, I think it's about time we listen in to these guys and see what they have on their plate and on their minds. Joining me now here on the call, ladies and gentlemen, in that number 90 machine and the Ford Mustang Steins, it's Richard Fornshell. Got a copy down there, Fornshell? Oh, hold on a minute. Well, I think I might have a reason why we don't have a copy. You got a copy, or Fornshell?
Hey, I got you now.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Fornshell on the line here, and Richard, going into this race, last opportunity, last chance to make it into the Final Four at Phoenix here in a couple of weeks. I mean, how much that feeling and pressure has this season kind of given you to get to this moment and get this last chance out of the way?
I mean, it's been honestly a pretty tough season. It's far as just not being able to compete up front as much as you want to, you know. So, I don't know, try to come out here. Well, see if I can get a car that I can actually drive decently. I'm still struggling with that, so I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It might be more of a team player today.
Well, if you're going to try to play a team player role, I mean, if I know there's also a points get that these guys can win on from and get into, but I mean, how difficult in your mind though would it be to work as a teammate and also trying to help them get in? You think?
Uh, I think. Uh,
A little more focused on the driving.
yeah, no, sorry. My my cats in the background are having at it. So,
Oh.
uh, um,
I mean, if it makes you feel better, usually some of these broadcasts you can hear my dogs, unfortunately, kind of rustling around up in our broadcast booth, unfortunately.
yeah, yeah. No, it's gonna be interesting. You know, if this field doesn't get much bigger, you know, obviously each spot is gonna be that much more important. So, as far as like, you know, try to do what you can to, uh, you know, not get in the way of your teammate and, you know, let them do their thing if they need to, and you know, do what you need to. Yeah.
Well,
It's gonna be a fun night.
we'll leave it at that. But Richard, thank you for your time here, bud. Best of luck down for you and the crew.
All right, thanks, bud. Take care.
Richard Forenshaw, ladies and gentlemen, on the line and on the call. The next on our list here, a guy that we thought honestly might have a shot at Talladega to make it in, now has to find it here at Homestead, ladies and gentlemen, in the number 48 Youngling machine. This is George Young.
Hey, what's happening, buddy?
Not much, my friend. Now, George, constantly, every time we come on here, I always say, you got the most underrated underdog driver in this business to not win a race here on Pizza Race TV. You've got 2 chances left. Do any of these tracks, much less this one, give you that feeling of opportunity?
I think it does. You know, I'm going to be a little conservative here. Got to save these tires, and I think we're going to be in it for the long haul here. I don't think we're going to see many cautions here tonight, so it's all going to be about serving those tires and that strategy on that first pit stop.
So strategy and perseverance, of course, going to be very difficult to master and kind of tricky to figure out. But for you and this crew, where does this trouble lie within on the cars and on the track today, you think?
I think it's just going to be guys being overly aggressive, being that we only got 2 races left. Everybody's going to be pushing a little bit extra, you know, because they want to get that win. So I think maybe that's where I can take advantage. You know, I'm going to stick to my style and see what happens.
Well, best of luck to you there, George. We'll see if you can do that and then some tonight.
All right, thank you.
George Young, ladies and gentlemen. Talking down here with some of our other guys here, some of the old favorites, the guys that just can't seem to stay away but love this racing as much as we love seeing them. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 8 Beam and Sun, Sheldon Pearson.
What's up, man?
Well, not much. I just thought I'd give you a little intro this time. But Sheldon, you know, you think you've been rocking and rolling throughout these seasons, throughout the show. I mean, I know you've got a lot of favorite moments out there, but I mean, with this kind of car and this kind of season, I mean, is there any season moments that really you kind of find to be the best or your biggest moment in your mind?
With the season I've had, not really, man. I've had some bad luck this season. But the road courses, really like them in this car. Not so much good on the ovals. Homestead is going to be another one of those very technical, keep the car in one piece and try to make it to the end type of races.
And with that in mind, of course, as you said, the oval's not really playing to the strengths of the car or really to you. I'll ask you this. I mean, does that kind of force some of these guys to have to watch themselves and maybe get a bit more out of hand when they don't need to?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's going to take more chances, especially if you are in the playoffs. Us outside the playoffs, not really. I mean, just run our race, try to help our teammates, and that's pretty much all we're here for right now.
Absolutely.
Support, man.
Support them indeed. Well, Sheldon, any last words before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks, Champion Power Equipment, and you for broadcasting. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's been a
Sheldon,
good
thanks.
season.
It's been a good season indeed. Then good to have you on time. We'll see you later, all right?
All right, have a good one.
Sheldon Pearson, ladies and gentlemen. Take it down here and listen to Matthew Johnson if he's got time to chat with us here. Ladies and gentlemen, in the number 4, Johnson is now on the line.
Hi, Christian.
Hello, Johnson. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
All right. Well, right now, just barely out of the top 5 in terms of speed and lap time here. And the good news for you is, so far, we haven't seen any of those extreme heavy hitters coming in. So I think maybe there should be some hope and some racing for you today, shouldn't it?
I'm hoping so. I'm sitting in the new rig, new cockpit, and it's really helping me out to feel how the car is understeering and to control grip levels. So really excited to be racing in it and to see what we can do tonight.
So a new cockpit, new stuff for your arsenal. What exactly did you change, and what exactly did get figured out there that's now making you a bit better out on the track?
Well, I was just racing on a G29 for the past 2 years, so just a Logitech, and it's a fine and fabulous wheel, and it got me started, but it's now that I've upgraded to a direct drive, and the pedals have some feedback coming through them too, it's quite remarkable. It's really enhanced the experience, but also kind of gives me that extra information to try to be a little faster.
I'm not gonna lie, some of that stuff you just said, I think you kind of undersold the value and the meaning of what these things can do for you, but we'll go more into depth in that race today. As you get ready for it though, Johnson, best wishes and luck as you aim for the final positions of the playoffs.
All right, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Johnson on the line there. Ready to reel him out and fire it out on the track. Let's take a listen into the man that won last time out in that Ford Credit Ford Performance Machine, the number 15, Jason Taylor.
How you going, Chris?
Jason, I'm doing all right, man, and I know you were doing pretty good after that incredible win last time out. I know you're obviously locked into the playoffs. Is this just kind of running on house money tonight?
Yeah, gonna take the chance. Third fastest right now. Got a decent car, but I don't know. Might try some crazy grid strategy or something. See if I can. Since I'm safe, I'm racing for the championship next time out. Take some chances, try something, see what happens. Maybe play with some tire strategy or something.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, where would when you say tire strategy and you're kind of looking at that, how much of that can be transferred over to Phoenix? Because we both know these tracks are extremely difficult on tires and can wear and tear you out pretty quick. What can you take from there to here?
I don't know. Probably not a full. The tracks are so different, but they do both wear out tires. So one thing I have struggled with this year is tire management a little bit. So I'm gonna try to play around with it tonight. Maybe I can snook them. We'll see. But I'm just glad the pressure's off. I don't have to go out and achieve anything tonight really, and I'm racing for the championship. So that's a nice position to be. I'm glad it worked out at Talladega and took a lot of pressure off for the next couple of weeks. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, though, Jason, this is pretty much your race to just enjoy yourself and have a little fun for once. Best of luck out there.
Man, we'll hopefully have a good time.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ford Credit number 15 driver and the Mustangs, it is Jason Taylor. Well, I think it's about time we talk with some championship hopefuls and points racing. Obviously a big thing, but for Eli the Wild Child himself, there is one thing on his mind: get that win out of the way. The Air Force number 9 joins us here on the show.
Hello.
Hello, Eli. Well, nevertheless, another race, another day, and right now, the way it's looking, you got a couple options. You can point it or you can race win it. What is the options for you in the playoffs?
Well, I'd like to win, but I don't know. This it's a very tricky track. I'm not very good here. The way these next-gen cars are, they're pretty good for about 20 laps, and then you really have to kind of baby it around. So I think it'll be whoever can keep it pointed straight, honestly.
Well, let me ask this too then, because I know we've talked before about some of the flat spots coming off like corners 2 and corner 4, but really, where does the overall corner problem lie for these cars to really have to control and maintain grip on the track, you'd say?
Corner exit, 100%. Once you kind of transition back up the banking on exit, it really starts to get loose.
Seems to be the case indeed. Well, nevertheless, though, Eli, top 5 right now in the practice. We'll see how you do in the qualifying. Best of luck down there.
Appreciate it.
Eli Childs, ladies and gentlemen. And you can just hear it too, the drivers right now just preparing up for everything they're about to endure and go through. They have a lot on their plate. Maybe none more so than, of course, the reigning defending champion himself in the 55 Champ Power Equipment machine, James Harris.
What's going on, man?
Not much, but I know this has been a long, long road and a long season for you and this crew. Living up to the Marauder reputation. I know right now you are just thinking one thing, and that's get that win tonight, ain't you?
Yeah, for me tonight it's win or bust. I don't think we'll have enough points to get in the top 4, so we're gonna have to push her hard and drive hard and try to get that W tonight to get in.
Obviously, going in as the defending champion this season, I know pressure was definitely on you for most of the season, if not all of it. But I mean, for this race in particular, does it just feel like it has more meaning than ever before? You'd say?
Yeah, I'd say so. As the defending champ, you want to at least make the Final 4 to have a chance to defend the title. But, you know, it's a completely different car, and I've had a love-hate relationship with it this season, which means I've loved to hate it. But we've done some good races this season. But I think we've improved as it's gone on. But tonight it's all about just going hard and trying to win. We may have to pull some strategy out of our hat, though, but we're going to give her a shot.
Our best wishes of luck to you, Harris, as you look to try and make it in the Final 4 to defend the title.
10-4, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, James Harris looking to defend the championship he won just one season ago. Time to listen in to some of our other guys real quick here as we're closing out on the night for practice. Ladies and gentlemen, here under the daytime lights, the big man himself, the mullet man, Robert Lawrence, joins us on the call.
Hello, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good, my friend. And speaking of going pretty good, you had to pretty much kind of travel from literally the top of the states wise and down here to the southern area. How did it feel to kind of travel from here to get in from the cold to the heat again?
Well, I'm just grateful to be somewhere warm because right now back up north it's cold.
I do not discredit him, folks. He is not wrong.
Yeah, it's been chilly, about 40s ish up there, and getting down below freezing. It's not been a fun time waking up, but it's always nice to wake up to a nice hot coffee and then get to work. But no, being down here in Miami, it's a little warmer, a little better.
A little better, yeah. But I'll ask you this, Robert. You're going in last week from a huge race and just absolute chaos and insanity from Talladega. Janzik told us earlier he wanted to try to get you in and help you out, but now you're kind of all on your own in this case here. I mean, does that kind of just make you try to look more towards the overall position and strategy to get through this race and win it all?
Yeah, it just basically just makes me have to really focus, knuckle down, really pay attention to what the car is doing, try to maximize everything I can, really pay attention to the pit strategy and everything. So that way I don't miss out on potentially making the Final 4 because there's a couple guys already locked in. I gotta try to fight my way in, so we'll see what we can do.
Certainly indeed. Nevertheless, Robert, the time has come for qualifying. Best of luck to you and this team.
Thank you.
Robert Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen, enters the qualifying square. So do the rest of your drivers. It is time to set the time for the fastest of the tracks. Qualifying is underway at Homestead, Miami. And your qualifying and practice sessions also brought to you in part by our friends at Champion Power Equipment. When you guys need the best power generators around and the best tools for the job, Champion Power Equipment has that and then some. Be sure to visit them up at their website at www.championpowerequipment.com for more information. They can get a Champion Power Equipment for all the support throughout these seasons. All right. Lap times getting set to go. Jason Taylor will round his field out his first lap. Kyle Holden, the fastest in practice, looks to set his time. It looks like he's going to try a different strategy versus everyone else already out of the gate. He's going to try to rocket it on the top side and then bring it back to the bottom possibly. Although you'll see a lot of drivers later in this race kind of edge towards that top side rather than trying to close it off on the bottom. That could in turn make things a little bit more interesting for everyone. We'll have to see. Lap times now being set. Holden's first lap is in. And actually, it's a little bit faster than Jason Taylor. by about 800ths of a second. They'll take that fast speed and take the first lap around. Eli Childs not able to get his first lap in just yet, so he'll bring it back out on the track. Robert Lawrence's time, a little bit undershot, 33.65, not enough to knock down Holden off a spot. And even Fornshell, just a slight bit slower in terms of scope and speed. Will have to work his way around in the second lap if he can. And Jason Taylor able to get him back, but Holden strikes harder, 32.86. Lawrence only at 32.91. And we're trying to switch between these drivers as much as we can here, but that just shows you how hard they're driving the limits off these things and pushing them to their fullest potential. Strategies are going to bolster and be extremely difficult to work around today, and they know it too. Harris trying to close the gap. His time, third fastest of the bunch, not enough to get in the 32s. It's a 33.16 for your driver in the 55. Oh, and speaking of driver having a little bit of problems down there, our old friend William Mann Jr. in the man's maintenance 29 decided to go for a little bit of a rocky road mountain trip way down through Homestead. That's not how you qualify, my friend. I'm just being real with you here. George Young puts up his lap time as well. His time is set at a 33.52 as his best time overall. Eli Child sets at 33.23. That'll knock him down another spot or two, just below the defending champion James Harris with a 33.23. It's about 700ths of a second off from that, and roughly a good half a tenth off from Kyle Holden there. So that'll be pretty interesting to see what goes down. Tyler Meeks is now also joined onto the race here, so we'll have to see if maybe he can bring something to the table. It's going to be interesting to see what he's got at store and what he's going to bring to the show. Right now, William Mann Jr. doesn't look like he's going to bring out the qualifying car back out again. Looks like I think he is done. So I think they'll give us a chance to see if he is okay in there real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, the 29 out of the car for now anyway. Man, are you okay down there? It was a pretty little wild ride you had off of corner number 2.
Yeah, I decided I was going to really try to send it the second lap. And I already heated the heck out of the car. And I almost went to space. Luckily, we didn't leave the track.
Thankfully, didn't leave the track indeed, but I mean, that's kind of going to bring down another point here. These cars, they're extremely hard to kind of grip and handle when they get a bit loose, and Homestead's been known to make drivers have to reel and deal their way around this place. How difficult do you think it will be for these guys to kind of control themselves?
It'll be interesting for sure. I noticed one thing that was different is a lot of these setups, everybody has to run the bottom line when typically and traditionally, Homestead, everybody high rides. So I don't have a clue. Haven't been able to keep up with these guys. Places like Homestead anyway, so we're just gonna send it and see what kind of noise you can make, and hopefully mess everybody's points and shock the system.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Man Jr., we appreciate you coming down, bud. Good luck out there. Let's see what happens.
Sounds good, bud. Appreciate you.
William Mann Jr., ladies and gentlemen. All right. And with that, our friends and colleagues, join us now. Get ready, because it is time for your Champion Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series final playoff race before the championship endeavors coming your way at Phoenix, Arizona. But now it's time to find out who will be joining Jason Taylor and Craig Janzik in the final race. And on the start of this race, we will have Kyle Holden, your number 1 seed. And the number 5 is outside. In the 34, Robert Lawrence. Row number 2 is the 55 of James Harris, and is outside Eli Childs in the number 9. Row number 3 in the number 90, it'll be Richard Fornshell, but to his outside, already locked in, the 15, Jason Taylor. In row number 4, George Young in the 48 is outside. In the 29, that is William Mann Jr. Row number 5 and the 35 will be Tyler Meeks, but is outside. It'll be the 4, Matthew Johnson. And finally, our shotguns of the field. Row number 6, Sheldon Pearson in the 8, and the 51 of Charles Whitehead, rounding out your field today here at Homestead, Miami. Race fans, the time has come. The place and time is here and now. It is about to get crazy up in here. Let the drivers roar these cars to life. It is time to go racing at Homestead, Miami. One last chance, one last opportunity to take yourself into a Final Four. Here we go at Homestead. Wide tangent off the battle here out of the cuffs. And James Harris wasting little to no time. Foreign Shell driven up a little bit to the top side of the gate. This 100 lap race ordeal is going to put a lot of pressure on not only those tires, but on the guys that are on the cuffs of trying to make it into that final race. Remember Taylor and Janzik, they're already locked in. Janzik could not make it today, which means we will more than likely have a brand new winner for the first time this season in quite some time. We've had repeat champions and repeat winners here on the show as of late, but this one might be a first for a few of these guys who've been desperate to get that win. Kevin Kershaw has joined us as well here, saying let's go boys in the chat. He's rooting on his drivers, he's rooting on his crew. Thanks for coming on board today, Kevin. Mashing the gas pedal, James Harris in the corner number 2. Dealing with Robert Lawrence there, packing it up on his inside as we go on board with Eli Childs. The United States Air Force number 9, representing his military background and his military career, while at the same time representing his fellow brothers and countrymen. Elite Performance Industries Motorsports 34 of Robert Lawrence, though, and the Chevrolet Camaro having a great little ounce and pound on the bottom line right now. Everybody seemingly sticking to that bottom lane early, which is very surprising. I would not have expected so many guys to kind of lay low in that position or lay on that spot, because usually, like you heard what Willie Man Jr. said earlier, they're more usually going to the top side. So I'm not sure what changed or what went there, and I'm very much in agreement with him. But whatever did change and whatever they are seeing seems to be working out A-okay. Good little back and forth here between Charles Whitehead and the rest of your crew right now here as we're continuing to move through the chains. Wayman Jr. already making a bit of a run off there on the Mobile 135, trying to stay with them. Tyler Meeks, little to no practice on the fresh pavement or track today. He's coming in white hot, trying to figure out where he's going to be able to get the lines from, where he's going to be able to get the shots in the dark here, and hopefully find a way around this track. And remember, he is also one of the only drivers that's going to be able to make it into the championship 4, so a win here would kind of seal that deal and help him out tremendously. We'll have to see how that all plays out. Harris and Lawrence running very similar setups, it seems, but Harris driving a bit more aggressive and a bit deeper into the corners here. Harris trying to represent extremely well as much as he can, knows that this is his last opportunity, his last chance. He's been so close so many times before he won that championship last season, but now he's facing the absolute pressures, and in my opinion, even worse than being runner-up so many times. Defending a title is even more difficult because the fact of the matter is, it's never been done. There has never been a two-time Cup Series winner here in the Fast and Fun Champion Power Equipment Cup Series. Could the same stake be held again? Because remember, Janzik, Harris, Childs, they've all got the title to their name. They've won it before and they've taken home the victories, but none of them have been able to get two of them. If Harris makes it in, we have a 50 chance of a possibility of that happening. But again, with Jason Taylor locking up that other spot, now that kind of makes everything a little bit more hard to figure out, because you got guys like Kyle Holden and Robert Lawrence, they're aiming for that championship, and they got to literally lock themselves in with a win today, or they're going to have to really hope for those points, because honestly, it's a tough road to begin with, and it's an even tougher road knowing what's up against you. Marking their way around right now. Eli Child trying to get back to James Harris, and Lawrence here staying within the draft and within that realm. You can see the speeds increasing, power starting to connect extremely well here. So right now, currently the top three in a holster multitude of control and speed and temperamental tires underneath them. It seems like more often than not, too. One thing we have noticed here, especially on these 1.5 miles, and the 2 mile longs in the IRL and in iRacing, is when those tires give and they go, that right rear is that one you have got to be very careful of, because if you set that tire wrong, not only does it tear up pretty quick, but it also ends up giving you more of a headache and more problematic situations than you realize. That's why a lot of guys are being extremely careful right now, watching every corner and watching every spot, trying to avoid any mistakes or any little hiccups that could upset the car. I know it's going to be a very tough little deal here. Sheldon Pearson going out of here with Jason Taylor. Remember, Taylor just kind of running out of house money. Sheldon Pearson, though, trying to prove a point here as well. He's trying to make a very big deal of himself, as Matthew Johnson does that here with Richard Fornshell. Fornshell losing ground, a little bit loose off too, and just like that, flips the script around and he's lost positions. Let's go back to Matthew Johnson too. Let's talk about this number 4 for a minute. Remember at the beginning of this broadcast, he told us he's got a brand new rig, he's got brand new equipment, he's working with all different types of stuff, and he's able to finally figure out how much knowledge and information he can gain and gather just by simply being inside that race car, just by simply racing it out with these guys. He's gaining so much more knowledge now, because the fact is, just like the heavy hitters, Childs, Lawrence, Harris, and Holden, and many of the other guys that have come through here this season, we have seen a barrage and a variety of strategies and talents being put on full display and full on so many levels of expertise. But the reason why is because, again, they can feel that. They can understand what the car wants to do and what the track will end up doing with them with just laps and practice. But at the same time, gathering that little extra information helps coincide and make sure you know what you're aiming for, what you're looking for in this case. And again, I said it at the beginning of the broadcast. I said Matthew is not selling what that direct drive and what that feeling gives you. The direct drives, for those at home that don't know, the biggest difference is they literally are a quicker, snappier release, if you will, in terms of scope and racing ability. So let's say if you're getting loose right now in this corner, the feedback you get is it's simultaneously instant. It tells you immediately that there's a slight nudge or a slight little gravitational pull that's pulling the car around. It might be time to start either saving it, or you might need to figure out what you're going to do with it. Versus when you drive on a gear or a belt driven, you can get it to that level, but it takes a little bit more work and takes a little bit more expertise and knowledge with a lot more practice to understand it. It can be done, and people do it all the time, but a direct drive gives you a whole new sense of immersion, reality, and basically truly puts you behind that wheel. And that's why I always said, and I've said it before, I literally just had an upgrade done with my direct drive to help out with my quick release, and it made the hugest difference because now I have more of a solid feel, I have more of a solid grip, and it's definitely showed on the track with the times. As you can see, Eli Childs, he's doing the same thing here. He's running on full speed and full torque, and he's giving it all she's got at Harris right now, trying to get backed up to Lawrence and Holden. Kyle Holden right now, I don't know what kind of turbos that dude is using. I don't know how bad he's turning those tires up, but it's not bugging him very much. Look at the times right now. He is already 34 seconds on those clocks in the laps, so his tires are starting to fade a bit. But look at the markers here. He only lost on lap 18. Lawrence was only able to beat him out by about 9 thousandths of a second. Let's take a look at lap 19 here. This is going to make a difference. Lap 16 was a deal. Lap 19, an even bigger deal. Look at that gain right there. He went from nearly 3/10 to literally a full-on 3/10.5 plus gain on Lawrence, holding him back. Yeah, speaking of holding him back, I said you had a whole different set of tools to work with, Johnson. I didn't say you had to rake him already. Slams that right front into the wall protection. Johnson in major trouble. Jason Taylor parking him up on the outside. It looks like he's going to have some company brewing his way. Taylor with a good ride off there. Not sure exactly what happened to Johnson. We're going to have to go visit the PTM Instant Replay and see what went wrong there. Looked like he might have got himself a little bit too tight on the bottom and cushioned his way up to the top into the wall. Don't worry, this is the actual Instant Replay here, folks. A little bit loose. Right there, you see, caught the apron, and as soon as he caught that exit, that car was going straight up. He had no control over that. That snap lock steering, I'm going to tell you guys right now, it is an absolute monarchy of madness to have to work around and deal with. And folks, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the 55 is no longer with us. He entered into pit road. He's done. James Harris, your defending champion, is out of the race. I don't even know what to say to that. We talked so highly about it all season. He was trying to get that win in. He was trying to find positions and trying to find some way, somehow. And now we have knocked down one less driver in the playoffs. James Harris' season is over with in terms of going for the championship, and what a horrible defeat he has suffered. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm trying to get word right now with the crews and the pit guys, the officials down there. I believe he may have suffered a broken axle rod, may have actually snapped the engine up a little bit. You saw he was loose earlier on, turn number 4, so the right rear might have been kicking out too much and got some trouble, and whatever the case may be, what a bitter, bitter defeat. So that leaves 2 spots left. One of them will be a win. One of them could be a winner. The other could be based on points. Kyle Holden is looking to win this one. And he is doing it in tremendous fashion right now. 5.5 seconds ahead. Eli Childs currently, though, dealing with an old friend and colleague and an old rival of his in Robert Lawrence. Remember, Lawrence, again, has been to the championship rounds more often than not. Actually, I believe since we started broadcasting, Lawrence has been in every single Final Four and never won the title. Now, he does have a Truck Series title to his name, but he does not have the one that he wants so badly and desperately, and that is the Cup Series title. But even he has stated, even he has said that if he had to, he would also work around with the teams a little bit. He would work around with the field and see what he can do there. For Eli Childs, he's looking to make it in and regain what he feels like he lost last season. And he's going right up against Lawrence right now with 1/4 of the race ended off. Been a wild, chaotic race here out of the gate. Drivers unfortunately getting taken out, some or taking themselves out, some unfortunately just overdoing themselves and not realizing their positions, and the next thing you know, championship level drivers are already out of here. Matthew Johnson still struggling with that number 4 machine Ford Mustang after that huge hit in turn number 2. He's currently rocking it down in the 6th spot, trying to hope for the best, trying to get some kind of luck or some kind of endurance here thrown at him. Laps winding down, time's clicking away here at the moment. Battle to the top. Looks like Lawrence might be starting to put the car up to the top side here. Well, that was pretty much where we had thought everyone was going to be aiming towards. And history has shown that that was usually where most drivers go for. But it appears a whole different strategy and a whole set strategy was really focused on driving that bottom line. That's even where Childs is going at right now, and you can see it's not quite working for him. Could be taking it easier in the corners, could be just trying to back out, not let Lawrence get too comfy up there, but at the same time you can see that throttle rhythm. That is extremely smooth, even for Childs' standards. The fact that he is so smooth on that throttle right now tells me he is really trying to preserve tires at the moment. And I think Lawrence is trying to do the exact same without having to worry about getting bumped or tagged around a little. But you can see, even being gentle off those exits, that's not enough room to try and master and outclass the guy that is your race leader. Kyle Holden charging to the front, charging ahead. He's your race leader. Can he continue that dominance and that streak? He's looking to make it into the championship rounds when we return here to PTM Race TV. Today's race here at Homestead Miami Speedway has been presented in part by our friends at Champion Power Equipment. The best power generators around and the best tools for the right job. Only one brand name has that, and that is, of course, Champion Power Equipment. Be sure to check them out on their website at www.championpowerequipment.com to get the latest and the greatest info, as well as to get yourself settled in today with a brand new power generator. Thank you so much to Champion Power Equipment for all their support throughout these seasons. Back to the live coverage action right now here. Currently, Childs now dealing with Pearson kind of creeping up on him a little bit. Pearson looking to maybe make a little bit of a statement. He's already your hard charger without question. 7 spots up. Yeah, he is wheeling it. Tyler Meeks right now kind of showing his struggles here at the moment, trying to hang in with the field and trying to hang in with the crew. And then, of course, Jason Taylor. In my opinion, right now, what he is doing, he is gaining valuable information on this track to use in terms of how the heat, how the ratio affects on these Goodyear tires, and figure out where he's going to have to go for at Phoenix. Now, again, Phoenix and Homestead, 2 completely different style tracks. Homestead, it's a banked up, fast-paced, high little action octane track. Phoenix, more of a driver's track, more of a technical blend. You really have to watch not only just that tire wear, but just watch where you're at location-wise and what goes down. And speaking of location and what goes down, looks like one is down on the bottom here in front of us. The 90, Richard Fornshell, comes to a crawl and a stop, and we're going to have a caution. And just like that, everything gets flipped on its head. What has gone wrong here on the track and on the show for Richard Fornshell? We're going to take a look at that in just a minute. Here is the PTM instant replay. No idea if the 90 just got a little too hard on the throttle for his own good, or maybe the car just did not want to hang in there. Look at this rear end. I think that might be explains why no one's going on the top side. That 90 looks like he was trying to go to pit road. Had a bit of a hung issue there. The tires screeched in and the rear end kind of kicked out from him, and that was about it. I'm not really sure, though, really why that had happened in that spot in that predicament. We're going to try to look at it from his onboard camera here, but that's kind of a tricky little call here. Let's see if we can see for sure if the car was loose. Yeah, car was loose here. Looks like he was trying... Yeah, he was going for pit road. There you go, right there. Looked like he seemed like the car was too loose and too tight, so he had really no choice. Puts it in reverse to get out of the way, and he knew he was in trouble there. Well, inevitably, that will open the door up, though, to lap traffic. Richard Fornshell and Tyler Meeks going to have a chance to get back into the position and back into the charge. The rest of your field heading down into pit road and getting settled up here out of the gate. Have to listen to some of these guys here and see what their thoughts and feelings are on this one so far. See if we get a hold of one around right now here as we listen into the number 5's Cam here. Holden, you got a copy down there?
Hey, what's going on, Chris?
Going pretty good, my friend. And right now you are doing quite a number on this track as well. Right now you've read the entire race here and seemingly going to try to make it in for the final 4. How is it feeling out there, though, in the car, number 5?
It's feeling pretty good. Definitely at the beginning. We definitely have a strong car. This is one of my favorite tracks, so I have a really good idea of how to run it. But after about 30 laps or so, you start getting a little loose. So got to be a little cautious there at the end. But hopefully we can keep it green and maybe run it all the way to the end.
I'm going to ask this too as well because I hear a lot of folks talking about this. But the fact is, a lot of you guys are running towards the bottom layer of the track rather than the top side. Is there just something different this next gen has over the Gen 6 in terms of like where they usually run for the scope of the track?
Yeah, I mean, originally you could still get, you still want to run the high line if you want to make a run off of 1 or off of 2, but these cars seem to really just wear their tires up on the high side, so running the lower side just kind of helps you save all the tire so that you can at least run a full fuel stint.
For sure there. All right, well, Kyle, we really appreciate your expertise and knowledge here. Best of luck as we get you back into this one.
Appreciate it.
Kyle Holden, ladies and gentlemen, looking try and master it out and run it off on the track here. Let's listen into our other driver here in the number 51. We haven't seen much of him, but he's always here with us, and it seems like the Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry driver, Charles Whitehead.
How's it going?
Going pretty good. Charles, we haven't seen all that much of you this season, but yet at the same time, you seem to always be kind of hanging around. What the heck's going on, buddy?
Yeah, I took some time off a little bit, and then thanks to these guys, they let me return and come back and help them race with them. I appreciate all that. Now I'm riding in the back where I usually am.
You certainly are indeed. Now, with this way we're centering off and starting to get closer to the very, very edge of this season, I mean, what do you think the future holds for you and your team and your family?
Oh, hopefully get a little bit better at iRacing where I can run with these guys. These are big guys and fast guys in this league.
I certainly are indeed. Well, nevertheless, still always hanging around and having a good smile on your face, Charles. We always appreciate having you on board, buddy.
All right, thank you, sir.
The Interstate Batteries number 51 driver, Charles Whitehead, ladies and gentlemen. All right, with that said in mind as well, race fans, it's time to bring our drivers back to the green off of corner number 4. This time on by here at Champion Power Equipment Champion Power Equipment restart zone. Set in motion, set to the tone. Green flag drops. We're back at it at Homestead. And Holden, like you told us earlier, it seems like the 30 laps in, that's when the tires start to get loose. I wonder if that caution was because of the fact Fornshell was loose and had a hard time kind of controlling his crack and car there. But at the same time, did Holden kind of show a bit of his hand there too early for these guys now to kind of keep track of what he's up to and what he's going to be trying to plan on doing. I know one thing is for sure, Childs and Lawrence were taking notes. Well, they may have been taking notes, but one bad thing they seem to keep forgetting is to actually how to stop trying to drive the other and trying to figure out how to keep this thing online here. Those two just will not leave each other alone. Kyle Holden taking full use of it, but right now Child is starting to maintain some grip. Looks like he might have a little bit of a cups here on Holden. Holden trying to steer clear of him and get away. Lawrence up on that top side. He's in the wall protection. He's got to get it off. Stop scraping that right side up. The tires cannot deal with that kind of punishment. Neither can that car. Knows he's got to watch it up there. That outside line is extremely hard to master as much as it's dangerous to deal with. And he's generally fighting for everything he's got just to hang on in this championship hunt. Giles Whitehead, the number 51 Interstate Batteries machine, jumping ahead of the 15 Ford Credit machine of Jason Taylor. Taylor right now kind of maneuvering around right into the mix and into the full on the cuffs though. Sheldon Pearson dealing with the former champion in his own right, Tyler Meeks, and the 35 Ford Mustang Mobile One machine. I say former champion because the last time we watched him in a championship race, he had won the Truck Series Championship, the Green Mountain Girls Fast Fun Truck Series Championship for that matter, back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And when taking down the man that was literally right in front of him, winless at that time, William Manners Jr. Of course, Manners Jr.'s story had a happy ending back in our Super Money races we had used to hold. It was the very inaugural race of it. Where he actually was able to pull off the unthinkable and win his first race ever, taking home not only the cash prize, but in my opinion, what was more important to him, which is that feeling and reward of satisfaction. It's not easy winning here on P3 TV. I can tell you guys that much right now. I can barely do it on this show. And yet, when you do, the feeling is so overwhelming, it's so intensified, you never ever get tired of it. And it looks like one of them just so happens to be trying to shoot for that gap as well. Matthew Johnson, the number 4, a winner on here already, looking to make a statement, and he's doing more than just to make a statement. He's going full on send at Lawrence Childs and trying to get to Holden, but Holden may have figured out Childs is trying to draft off him, so he started to book it for the front and book it away. Lawrence still dealing with Johnson on the outside. Parks it right off. Bump coming there to Johnson. And Lawrence is not going to be too thrilled about having to get that dirty air struck right in his face there from the number 4. Johnson knew that was going to slow him down a bit, and it did. But the biggest thing is now, can he come back from it and still work his line and spot? Lawrence seemingly trying to avoid too much tire wear and tire burn. The struggle starting to show though, and the pain's looking like maybe the car is not up to par, up to where he wants to be. He knows he is fighting some serious demons right now. Holding up ahead of Childs, currently holding down his race lead. Johnson kind of crossed up in the middle there between the heavy hitters of Childs and Lawrence. Both guys desperately trying to make it in the final round. Points-wise, Lawrence not in a very good shape. I believe Childs out of the bunch. A little bit of a better spot here. A little bit of a switch back around now, and again, the more these three battle for second, the easier it's becoming for the guys trying to win it out here for that 4th spot. Holden knows if they keep doing this, he can have the race all to himself. That clean air, that nice air that he is circumventilating through the track, it's just so enriching and satisfying, I guarantee it for him, because he knows he doesn't have anything to really worry about, and he really has more to worry about on the track rather than drivers behind him. The one thing I've always said is that road courses, it's all about fighting the track and occasionally having to maneuver around other drivers. But on ovals, it was always about trying to not only figure out where your sweet spots are on the track, but then having to master hitting that target every single time, while at the same time having somebody just kind of park at their doors right up to you and make it that much more difficult to work around on the track. In IndyCar, it was all about trying to avoid the tire touch and trying to avoid getting kind of cleared out from guys. In stock car racing, well, that's the complete opposite. It's more worried about just trying to make sure you don't get taken completely out. Not mentioning names there, you guys could probably figure out what happened there on that end, but that's a lot of races and a lot of names we could be throwing in that hat too. Robert Lawrence, the 34, continuing to hold his line down as Childs stays right behind him in that pack. Matthew Johnson desperately trying to get to him here. Kyle Holden, I believe, only with 2 wins here on the show, and really in his career in the Fast and Fun Champion Power Equipment Cup Series. He'd love to change that and really revert himself to some serious leeway and some serious speed off the Varge here today. The Rusty Designs Martin Sports number 5, your race leader, as we go on board with him. You can see too, he is starting to slowly but surely creep his way into the middle and towards that top side there. More than likely just trying to avoid any calamity damage or anything that catastrophe-wise could mess his race up. We still have yet to see the fuel run or the tire run mileage kind of come into play. We've seen a good chunk of what could be done But other than Richard Fornshaw's little tail whip and spin, that's the only thing we have seen that kind of hurt anyone else on the track here. Wayman Jr. a season in his own right and a season for his position. He's been at it for quite a time. He's been at it for quite some rides, but I think the biggest thing for me really that I've seen him kind of known and grown with him was how far he went in terms of scope, in terms of level of diversity, and how he manages himself. He's very much improved and very much matured in the motorsport world. And iRacing, that is pretty much what you need to get better as a driver as much as you get better as a person. Maturity and overcoming your weaknesses and flaws. Sheldon Pearson, the PM and Sons, he's another one of those guys I talk highly about, and I'll talk more about him as you go along. But I mean, the thing about him is, without a doubt, he can put the fight to any of these guys and really put a number out on the track if you give him that chance and you give him a shot to really take in the dark. He has won on here back in the dual races, I believe it was. And I believe that was during the Cup Series time as well. I believe it was actually the first time we actually did the dual races. But hard to believe all these weeks, months, and even years actually. We've been with these guys for 2 years straight. And seeing what they have accomplished and what they've been doing day in, day out, year in, year out. Absolutely impressive to say the least. Tomorrow night, of course, race fans here, we have the GOAT Racing League Truck Series coming to you live here on the show. Be sure to tune in for that. If you're wondering where we're heading off to and what's going to happen there, well, it's very simple. We're going to be watching them duke it out at Nashville Super Speedway, and then on Sunday night, you'll see the Darlington Raceway of GOAT Racing League, as well as the Pedal Metal Racing League Dover race there. Promo video and all that to file soon enough, as currently a little follow-up to Jason Taylor, William Mann Jr. Taylor throws the crossover and a slider right at it. William Mann Jr. nowhere to go, loses position. Thursday night, the Pocono Raceway will see the Pit Stall Racing Series bring Super Late models to the track. Yes, I did not stutter. I said Super Late models. Yes, those Super Lates. They'll be live at Pocono Raceway here on Thursday night. And then finally on Friday night, of course, Indianapolis Motor Speedway gets a taste of some Misfits, because we're going to see the Misfits iRacing League duke it out in the truck race. Should be a good one as we venture off further into this season. Robert Lawrence trying to coin back up there too. Eli Childs here in the U.S. Air Force machine, but it is Childs 2 spots up, currently holding the moniker and trying to point his way in, if not win it. But Kyle Holden right now is making it extremely difficult to even do that. And you can just see the positions further as he goes. We saw how far he was, literally just on the front straightaway alone from that camera, or the dash cam, if you will, that's flying high above on that end of the track. He's got such a tremendous lead, such a tremendous gain and ground attraction. He is not looking back, nor is he looking away. Staying very, very focused. Matthew Johnson even being a little bit more determined and set to go. Even though the Glitchcraft Gremlins are trying to take his soul, he is not letting off. And Robert Lawrence again struggling to keep the car at a high speed and a high pressure point. Johnson looking to make him work for it. Sheldon Pearson watching out from behind the 8 PM and Sons machine, trying to stay out of the Allagash number 4. And it looks like Johnson struggling to keep the car in rhythm and in tune. Pearson even making his way around. Here comes Pearson. A glimmer of hope, a glimpse into what he can do. He's putting the next gen to good use. Beautiful crossover from turn 3 and 4. Gets around the Elite Performance Industries 34 of Robert Lawrence. And Lawrence right now, the mullet may be flying high, but that car is currently getting dragged on with it. I think it might be time to cut the dreadlock. It might be time to cut the locks there, Lawrence. I think it may be turning you into a parachute, my friend. Marking lap after lap down. Currently a 7-second lead. Again from Kyle Holden. And he's not letting up, too. The thing is, he said this was his favorite track. I wouldn't blame him. I think, honestly, this track might be honestly just giving him what he wants to see and doing exactly what he needs to do. And Childs, again, fought hard earlier on. Lawrence doing the same thing. I think that ended up costing them both. I think they should have learned a little bit from their mistakes. They should have backed off and tried to get a little bit closer up to the front, a little bit closer to Holden before he started running away. By the way, that was a great mistake on both of their behalves and both of their parts there, and now it is costing them dearly. Jason Taylor in the 15 right now, looking to bolster up a run. He's coming from Matthew Johnson, and again, this is a late rally, and this is exactly what we need to see from Jason Taylor. Not on a super speedway, not on a bigger track. This is a mile-half track that is showing us now that he can probably have a chance, and he can hang in there with the big dogs when all is said and done. Is this going to be his case of reason? Is this going to be his opposition? Lawrence right now, lap down, trying to get it back. Went into pit road to get himself some fresh sets of good years and a fresh chance at a little bit of redemption. Making the most of it and good use of it as well while he's at it. Johnson trying to avoid giving the spot up to Taylor. Taylor, though, right now working a whole different line, different spot here. Giving him many opportunities to try to take full use of it. Richard Fernshell earlier on, unfortunately suffering some collateral damage as well as some unfortunate probably a little bit of just pride, if you will, lost from corner number 4 earlier when the car got loose entering for pit road. Hasn't looked back on that mistake yet and been trying to desperately get up to the front and hope for the best here. James Harris, you may see him rolling around on the 12th position here. He is out of the race. Keep in mind about that. He had unfortunately left out the track. The car was too damaged and too gone, and he had hopped out and said he was done for the night. Drivers backing in and out of pit road. Charles Whitehead leaving pit road now, so the 51 camp getting himself back out on the track, back out with the field, looking to maybe make something work here, maybe make some heavy movement up to the front. We're down to the final 25 laps here on PT Racing TV, race fans, and right now it is looking to be an absolute warfare position for Holden as he currently leads this field out. Childs 8.5 plus seconds back. Somebody will have to point their way in because I think Holden is planning on winning this race. He just, honestly, he just never looked back. He qualified first in practice. He qualified first in the start of this race. He's not lost the lead once. I mean, you can say what you want about that, but I mean, the fact is, you don't win races by giving up so easily. You win races by challenging not only yourself, but the best of drivers and taking them down a notch. That's exactly what he did. Well, Johnson surrendering his spot up here to Taylor, and Mann Jr. right now looking to try to garner back up to him, looking for some position and opposition ahead. Mann Jr. is not someone you're going to cut out here, folks. He right now, I mean, I've talked about it before, and I'll say it again. The first times he should have won or he had a chance at winning a race was all really due to just fuel mileage and tire run. He had literally 2 or 3 races in a part of a season that it came down to that fuel run, and it only was by 1 turn that cost him the race win. Remember back at Kansas in that final race there, when the championship was on the line. Mann Jr. had that one locked up in terms of fuel run, but he came to the end of turn number 4, and as soon as he came off, that fuel mileage went bye-bye, and it cost him another win, allowing our good friend and old guy, or for a little Yeah, you know who we're talking about. I don't even know if I want to say his name. I guess I got it. Our old friend John Thacker from winning it out that day. I only didn't want to say his name because honestly I'm a little worried he'll probably try to hide back in my booth here when he can. With the final laps remaining, only one question is to be had. Who's going to point their way in, and can Kyle Holden finish the gauntlet? We'll find out. Fuel, mileage, and run being put to good use here on Pete Race TV. The final race for the Championship 4 is presented in part by Champion Power Equipment with the best power generators around and the tools you need. Only one brand name can be topped, and that is no one, because Champion Power Equipment is that brand. Be sure to visit them up at www.championpowerequipment.com for more information. A big thank you to our friends at Champion Power Equipment for everything these seasons in this round of racing. Ten seconds plus right now between Holden and Childs, but remember this, we are not anywhere near done with the terms of pit strategy, the terms of the fuel mileage. Look at our fuel mileage run right now. They have only gone 30 laps the distance. Now they're going a full 40. This could be very troublesome for Holden, because now he's got to figure out when's the right time to go in, and when does he show his hands to Childs, and does Childs, when he goes into pit road, does he offer to take that opportunity? Does he take that chance? Pit road is going to be opening up here soon, and one of these guys is going to have to give in. And speaking of having to give in too, Sheldon Pearson, he's not giving in to anything else except just trying to pull a race win out of his hat. He literally stood back for a while, then went full on center, and really this is the first time in a very long time we have seen Pearson at his best. He's putting it right to Childs here. He's not giving an inch to him, that's for certain. Drowning out position and drowning off the final legs of this race. We do not know how much fuel they put in those cars. All we do know is they've got to make sure they watch out for what's coming next. This is kind of that. This is the worst feeling in my opinion, because this is literally you're just trying to figure out what is going to happen next. I mean, yeah, you can see how far one is separated out, but it's like you kind of forget something. We're not watching the race just for how the passing goes. Now this is really kind of turned into a fuel mileage run, and that in itself is a journey in its own right, because it forces everybody to make their choices and make them well. And speaking of making choices right now, Robert Lawrence, he made a bold choice going into pit road on lap 67. Why is that bold? Because he took fuel with it, and guess who is still have not gone in pit road? Yeah, Jason Taylor and Sheldon Pearson, Eli Childs, and Kyle Holden. That means if these guys go into pit road at any time now, Lawrence is going to get them. And I think Holden right now has not got enough of a gap lead to hold him back. If that happens, only about a 25-second gap. Lawrence is full throttle sending it. Holden right now, I guarantee you, he is trying to save as much fuel as he can. He is in trouble, though, and he is well aware of it. So now a whole new dilemma and dynamic has changed the track out. 12 laps to go. Again, there is still room and an opportunity for them to try to take full control of it. Sheldon Pearson, though, looking on at his opposition of Eli Childs, looking for an opportunity here to make that ditch effort move, make a run for him here. Richard Fornshell coming out of pit road now as well. The number 90 gonna park the Theory of 11 out. Too little, too late though for Fornshell to make a comeback. In this case, there's no way he'd be able to have at it. Tyler Meek's season pretty much going to be all but done as well. Charles Whitehead was already done for this. George Young's season done as well. We have one driver going to be locked in terms of winner scope, but which one's it going to be? Is it going to be in the top 5 with Lawrence, Taylor, Pearson, Childs, and Holden? Because that's going to be a tall position to be dealing with. 10 now turns to 9 laps to go. Holden desperately holding on. And you can hear it right there. Listen. Notice how he got back on the throttle so quickly? Listen again as he comes off of turn number 3 and 4. Listen to that accelerator and listen to the clutch. Interesting. That time did not save. That time he did not save. So turn 1 and 2 he did clutch. But in 3 and 4 he did not. I wonder if he thinks he's got enough now. I just think maybe what if or what could have been. Lawrence, by the way, making a tremendous comeback. He's already knocked down about 8 seconds on the leader and about closing up on the rest of the guys here. Considering he came out of pit road, had to gain a lap back and then come for him. He had no quit, he had no give, but I think he just made too many mistakes earlier in the race. And that charged him and cost him dearly. Matt did Air Force, number 9 Ford F1 Ford Mustang, Mad Victims Machine, trying desperately to hang on. Season hopes and potentials taking full use of full reign. Oh, this could get interesting though. We got a heavy list of drivers now closing off on one another. They've got to be very, very careful here, otherwise this could literally change up the race just a little bit. Tyler Meeks now coming right up onto William Mann Jr.'s corner panel here. Meeks looking to make a drive off. Young trying to get back to him. Had a good position there leading off for a minute, but didn't quite go as according to plan. Top 5 on your screen for the final 5 laps. Man Jr. Man slamming the wall, as he likes to refer to it here, and there's a little bit of attack on that. Kyle Holden now. This is not the place for Holden to be making any try and charge, just trying to make any little rushes of position. Man Jr. watching on. Holden gets around one of them, now has 2 more in front. Now for another one. Meeks getting out of the way. We're coming up with 3 laps to go. This time on by. And to think what could have been. A long, long, hard charging road, a winding road to say the least. And Young getting out of the way, stays topside. Holden gonna bring it back down to the bottom. Right now, calculating points up here. Robert Lawrence, Eli Childs, pretty close in terms of scope of the points. So we'll have to let the judge. We'll have to see how that judge decides on that. But nevertheless, white flag in the air this time on by. Kyle Holden has just one more set of turns to go. A season fought, scratched, and clawed. From heartache to disrespect to the feeling of it was never going to come, it was never going to happen, to finally having a chance of a lifetime in a couple weeks, this man, Kyle Holden, is going to race for a championship against Jason Taylor and Craig Janzik. What a race. Eli Childs and Sheldon Pearson. Last dash, last corners. And it's going to be Childs holding on. Lawrence might have just let his championship hopes slip away. We'll have to see how the points add up, but nevertheless, advancing to the championship round, ladies and gentlemen, the number 5 Martin Sports Crew is going home happy tonight. He's going to bring it to Phoenix Raceway in just a few short weeks, but here at Homestead, it's time for a little celebration here in Miami, Florida. I think it's safe to say he's a happy camper right about now. Race results popping up on your screen, presented by Champion Power Equipment. What a performance, what a climactic sequence, and a finale to set the tone for the championship race. Kyle Holden walks away your race winner and the 3rd entry to the title stakes at Phoenix. Childs looks like he should be enough points in. We'll have to see between him and Robert Lawrence, but nevertheless, Childs with a great second place finish here. 3rd going to Sheldon Pearson. Lawrence again, we'll have to see how that goes, but a 4th place position considering he was a lap down, managing to scratch and claw his way back in there. Jason Taylor goes 5th. Young 6th. 7th to Meeks. 8th to Willie Mann Jr. 9th to Matthew Johnson. Struggled early and could not get it back, unfortunately. Charles Whitehead, though, with a solid top 10. But a shocker of all, too, as well. James Harris, unfortunately, DNF. And unfortunately, we'll have to lose out the title, which means we will have a new champion crowned this season. But will it be a repeat winner? We're going to have to find out here in just a few short weeks. But now, race fans, the time has come. Let's listen into your top 3. Start them up with the PM & Sons crew driver, Sheldon Pearson, the number 8. And Sheldon, My friend. It's been a long time since we've talked to you in a podium. How's it feel, buddy?
Awesome, dude. It feels really good to be able to run that good, especially at a technical track like Homestead. Good setup from EPI is always good, but I mean, tires were good. I never really wore tires too bad the first run. I was still in the 80s. This run, I was in high 70s, so took care of the car really well. And I still had quite a bit of speed at the end. I could have passed Eli, but I was just trying to help him get that second place
I
so he
was
could move on.
I was just about to ask about that too. Is you literally had an opportunity, you had a chance. Did you just not? I was gonna ask if you just not wanted to want to take that shot in the dark, but I mean, considering you didn't, I mean, does that make it kind of a bigger choice here for you and the crew to kind of work around for the next going between you two?
Oh yeah, I think so, man. We knew Robbie had new tires and he was coming quick. If we had two more laps, Robbie would have caught us. And I think I saved mine enough that I might have been able to hold him up and give Eli a shot if he did get to us. And that's what our plan was. That's why I stayed behind him. And I mean, I was lifting way early, dragging brake all the way through the center, and then really easy on the throttle coming off, just trying to save them tires.
Certainly, indeed, and well,
But
let's go ahead.
it was a fun race for sure.
Well, absolutely. Well, Pearson, this, without a doubt, has been one of the most chaotic times for you in the season, but it's good to see it finally ended off on a higher note, at least if this is the last time we see you in that podium. So who do you want to thank you for this?
Shoot, I want to thank EPI for the setups, championship power or champion power equipment, and you for broadcasting. And it's been a good season, man. It's been fun.
It absolutely has been indeed. What a performance here, Sheldon. Congratulations, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher here today in the PM and Sons crew. It's number 8, Sheldon Pearson. All right, next up on our roster in that second place position, the Wild Child brings it back, and it's Eli Childs coming second. Eli, congratulations on that second place finish. And judging by that reaction, I think we already know what's happened. Did the points add up the way you were hoping for?
Yep, we made it by 2 spots. We had to finish 1 spot ahead of Robbie, and I got second, and he finished fourth. So we barely squeaked her in there.
Yeah, barely squeaking in there, barely holding on for everything it was worth and all that you had. Yeah, I mean, even we just heard from Pearson a second ago. I mean, he backed off from doing anything too crazy with you. And in some regards, does that kind of help kind of coincide your way into this final position for one last chance at a championship?
Yeah, I had all my teammates pretty much right in line, so I was getting pretty good updates on Robbie. He pit. He thought I mean, we were pretty close on fuel, so he pitted and was thinking new tires would work. And I think had he pit a lap earlier, I think he would have got me. I just my tires were done at the end. We just, uh, I haven't drove that hard in a long time.
It's been a long time since we've seen you put that pedal into the metal and into the floorboards, but hey, man, you done it again. So with a second place finish and a chance at another title, who do you want to thank here for this?
We got to thank Champion. You know, they've been sponsoring us for 4 or 5 seasons now. Mad. It's Hannah's birthday Saturday, so we're gonna have a big celebration. So I think she was riding with me all night. You know, wanting me to get there. So pretty happy we got her there. Kevin Kirscher, who's funded this from the beginning. Uh, Elite Performance and Michael Conti for building this fast setup. If you guys need setups, check out raceepi.com. Chris, you for sticking up, putting up with me for, whatever it's been, 2 years now. Uh, who else? My team, all my guys on Dump and Run, and I don't even know the other name of the team right now. I can't think right now, but all those guys for helping throughout the season. I couldn't have been here without him. So me and Jason will go on to Phoenix and hopefully win a title.
Cheers and counting, a chance at a lifetime for the title. Childs, best of luck and congratulations today.
Appreciate it, man.
Eli Childs, ladies and gentlemen, coming away second place out of this extremely tough field of drivers, but the one that will hold the moniker. He wins his way in. Kyle Holden, you, my friend, are a Final Four elitist. How does that make you feel, buddy?
Oh, it feels great. Just looking forward to Phoenix to race with Craig, Jason, and Eli. Hopefully, we can put on a good show for you.
Now, I'm going to ask this too. You literally had to strategize and perform at a high level here just to take this one home. But I need to ask you, what will it take at Phoenix to get the same results you had here? And is it going to be enough to win it out?
First, you're going to have a real dialed in setup to beat Craig. He's a real champ at Phoenix, so having a good setup to kind of contend with him, and then just put as much practice as you possibly can, and hopefully just don't beat your tires up too much, and maybe hopefully Craig does on his, because I know he's going to be the one to beat.
Certainly indeed. Well, nevertheless, though, Holden, there's been a long road to this redemption in this spot. I have to ask you, sir, who do you want to thank here?
Huge shout out to you in the booth, man. You always put on a good show for us. And then huge shout out to Champion Power Equipment for putting this on. And then huge shout out to the team, Team Watson Racing, always putting great setups out there for us. Martin Sports for being on the car, and just everyone for showing up.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, man, what a performance, what a drive to get into this Final Four. Good luck and congratulations done this one today.
Appreciate it.
So that said, your Final Four, the Elite Four, Holden, Childs, Taylor, Janzik will meet at Phoenix Raceway in just a few short weeks. But nevertheless, race fans here at Homestead Miami Speedway, you take a look at the position, you take a look at the performance, and again, with only one caution, just makes you kind of beg the question, like, how the heck did we go this far, and how did we get this far into a season with this kind of madness, this kind of temptation, these kind of points on the line? Every race had really mattered up to this level and to this spot, and really since Bristol, it feels like more and more we have gone further into the deep end, further into the chaotic world of this racing industry, and now we are just one leg up, one level left before we end the season, we end the championship nights out. I don't know what else to say other than just bring on the Final Four and see what goes down at Phoenix. But like we said before too, and these guys have alluded to, that is kind of Janzik's homeland. That's kind of his home ground. He loves those flat track surfaces and to tear up the tires and tear the other cars up. So if he can make it work and make it good, he'll use it every time he can. But we know Holden has proven something today. He can hang with him and really put it to him as well. And Childs is no stranger to winning at Phoenix. He's done it before. But the wild card, in my opinion, will absolutely be Jason Taylor. Can he hang on, and will he be able to hold on with a position and a performance he put up today? I think he'll hold his own, but he's going to be the underdog without a doubt. So our best wishes to all four drivers, two of them champions, two of them going in looking for that championship moniker. With that said, race fans, that concludes our action and coverage from the Champion Power Equipment Fast Fun Cup Series, presented in part by our friends at Champion Power Equipment. Thank you so much to them for all their support throughout these seasons, throughout these races. Without them, none of this would have been possible. And to you fans out there, none of it would have been possible without you guys. So, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for tuning into the show, tuning into the races. We have more coverage to come in the near future, but for now, be safe out there. God bless. We love you all.